Hi, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Navigating Trade Show Logistics, Trade Cruise Global 2021. We have a lot to cover today. We'll try to keep moving. I, Vanessa Ferrero, will be covering the customer success side, and then we have Cindy Salgado covering booth operations and expo logistics. We have our team with us that will be answering questions. So at any point, feel free to ask a question. I believe it's on your right-hand side, and the team will start answering right away so that we can address your questions. We appreciate you coming. We know it's been a tough last year and interesting this year. So we are here to support you and answer your questions. Let's kick it off with where I think a lot of people have questions, right? The COVID-19 advisory. So there's two parts I want to cover. One is the health side and one is the travel side. So in terms of the health advisory, Trade Cruise Global is following the CDC guidelines, which means masks are recommended but not required. There are no catering restrictions for Miami Beach Convention Center, and all social distancing restrictions have been lifted. You can continue to follow Miami updates. I have provided two links here, one for the convention center and one for the city. As far as travel goes, our recommendations are to pay attention to the US guidelines, which is really the CDC website, as well as checking your local government website. I saw that there were several pre-submitted questions about what happens if travel restrictions aren't lifted mid-August. If that's the case, I do encourage us just to continue to be in communication. We are monitoring the situation. We are working with our partners such as CLIA and FCCA to make sure that we can provide the best show. We have been in contact with buyers and suppliers, and a lot of them are local and have committed to coming to the show. So the best thing would be to stay in communication. I think the C-Trade team has been flexible and understanding over the last year and a half in terms of working with our customers to figure out what's the best next step. So I'll put it there for now. If you have more specific questions, if there's anything else for the team to follow up on, please submit that. Moving on to customer success, we're a resource for you. Hopefully by now you have heard from either myself or Catherine Romero. We're really here to help you drive positive outcomes, eliminate pain points, and really create the best exhibiting experience. The main tools to help you do that are the Exhibitor Resource Center, more popularly known as the portal. We have our Exhibitor Resources page that does not require a unique link or a password, so please check that for updates. And then new this year, we are launching an exhibitor bot. So we're really excited. He can answer your questions 24/7. It launches next week, and you can connect with him via WhatsApp, SMS, or on the web. The Exhibitor Resource Center, better known as the portal. So everyone should have received a unique link to log in. There's no username or password this year. It's easy to share the link, so I encourage you to bookmark it right away. If you haven't received it, please feel free to email customer success. When you go to the Exhibitor Resource Center, I've listed out a couple things that you can do here as next steps. So please take 10 minutes to explore the other areas. Some of my examples are to download the deadlines document, add those reminders to your calendar. That's the best way to save money on certain discounts. Review your company profile. You can register booth staff. You receive 4 complimentary booth staff passes per 100 square feet. You can also request visa letters in this area, review the hotel options, review the floor plan, make sure you know exactly where your booth is and what the booth number is, and more importantly, order services for your booth. You can see a list of vendors and the exhibitor service manual right with that reach of a button. I also encourage the Exhibitor Resource Center because fraudulent activity is at an all-time high, and we try to make this a secure site where the links and the vendors are all approved. Moving on to your company profile, the print deadline this year is August 2nd. Your company name and your booth number get printed. The mobile app and the website will have your company description. Here's a screenshot of what it looks like once you click into your profile. In the top, I highlighted a box with your 3 steps. So complete your company listing, whether you're updating it or entering it for the first time, add a product or service for free, and then share if you're hosting a reception. So I tried to make my arrows really obvious where you go to edit, to add a product, and then even to preview your profile. Badge registration. We encourage you to start registering your staff today. Year over year, we do not maintain the booth staff passes. So for 2020, if you registered your booth staff, they will not automatically be rolled over. You can find this graphic under the badge registration button, and it talks about what's included in each package, and then we have our discount deadlines. Any questions on this? Again, you can ask them during this webinar or follow up with us afterwards. Important discount deadlines. I love this PDF here on the right-hand side. It has everything, almost everything that you'll need: common forms, common deadlines, and contact information. We encourage you to download it, add it to your calendar, whatever you need to help organize yourself. As the sponsor, your first step is to submit your logo. That's a link, it's hyperlinked here. You can download this presentation. It's a handout on the webinar today, or you'll receive the recording later this week. And there's also one last document. There's no screenshot here of it, but it's budgeting for your booth. If you want to get a better idea of what prices there are, you can download that document. I've included the button, what it looks like there on the portal under deadlines, and you can easily find it. ESM, Cindy will go into this further. I just wanted to provide an overview here. You can log into Freeman Online through the portal. If you haven't used Freeman Online before, you'll have to create an account. There's also the very popular booth package. It's complimentary until August 26th. It's about $200 after August 26th. So you would have to submit your form and you send it to Freeman in order to reserve the package. On the right-hand side here, you do see the 2021 official vendor icon. We use that to try to help you guys be able to identify our official vendors. Again, there's a lot of fraudulent scams, a lot of fake emails, a lot of stuff going on, right? And we're trying to protect you. So always feel free to ask us if it's real or not, or keep an eye out for that symbol. Marketing tools. This will kick off mostly in August, but there are 5 things I want you to be aware of. The first one is downloading banners. It's customized with your logo. These will be available in early August. Try to make it late July, working with the marketing team on that. You can start your outreach to media. We have our media partner, and they will be providing a list of registered media that will be ready late July. We also have the public relations toolkit. This is now available. You can find it in the portal. We'll also have the Invite a Customer program, which means you can provide a promo code to your customers and they receive 10% off an upgraded pass or a free Expo pass. And then lastly, new exhibitors will have a 15-minute consultation with Access Cruise. Their consulting company, and Linda Vasquez will be reaching out. So I can provide more information on that later this week for the new exhibitors. Just a heads up on that. Again, any further questions, please feel free to submit them. In summary, before I hand it over to Cindy, doing pretty good, that was 10 minutes. I would say it's important to register your booth staff and review your profiles in the portal. You can also review sponsorship forms at this point. Everyone should have received an Outlook email from Catherine Romero yesterday. The subject line was, please review sponsorship materials, Seatrade Cruise Global. So if we can take a moment to do a quick poll right now, just curious to know what your next step is. Everyone can be at different phases right now, but just curious to see where people are in their journey. And so while that's being set up and while everybody is voting, I will just run through a couple more things on this slide. Pavilions, if there's any pavilions on this call, please start to submit your co-exhibitors and submit your booth builds for approval. Your booth builds are usually a little bigger and more complex. Sam Shen will be collecting those and working with you on that. If you're a new exhibitor, typically 3 years exhibiting or less, I encourage you to familiarize yourself with the portal, that one-stop shop, and then be prepared. The Access Cruise follow-up call will be happening starting next week. Again, I will provide a little bit more information about that in an email later this week. Let me just check to see how we're doing with the polls. Bear with me one moment. All right, 46% of people looks like still need to log into the portal. That's great. At least we know what we need to do. 29% are on registering, 13% reviewing the discount deadlines, and 8% ordering services for your booth. So that's great. Again, if you're missing the link to log in, that's probably step number one. We're happy to provide that. And let me see what else I have here before I turn it over to Cindy. So sponsors, submit your high resolution logo. That's important, so we can include that in the print materials and begin reviewing your deliverables. The conference agenda will be available early July, so that's in a quick few weeks. Beware of fraudulent scams. Seatrade Cruise does not sell attendee lists. And then we will have a Seatrade Cruise Global 2.0 coming up in October. It's our virtual event, and more information will be coming out about that. But we're trying to help those who are unable to meet with us in person. And then far as future events goes, here's a couple items that are on the docket for 2022 and 2023. You can see that the Seatrade Cruise Global 2022 will be held April 25th through the 28th. All right, so our poll is all set. Thank you very much for voting. A lot of people need to log into the portal. That's great. Once you do that, again, if you have questions, please reach out. We want to make sure that you're confident and ready for the show. With that, I will turn it over to Cindy Salgado.
Thanks, Vanessa. Hi, I'm Cindy Salgado. Myself, along with Sam Shen, will be your key contacts for everything booth operations and expo logistics. Many of you probably already know Sam. She's been working with a lot of the exhibitors the last probably 5 to 7 years. For the first time exhibitors, Sam Shen would assist you in your booth plans, getting them approved and getting you ready to come show site. Logistical timeline right now, obviously we're less than 6 months out, but you, as Vanessa had said, you really want to review the exhibitor service manual, establish your budget, and book your hotel room, as well as right now start to finalize your booth plan. If you are using an exhibitor appointed contractor, you'll want to provide us with the proper documentation, exhibitor appointed contractor authorization form, and then just assess your needs as far as your services, whether it's catering, additional electrical, additional furnishings. As Vanessa said, there is the complimentary booth package for the inline booths. However, if you miss the deadline, there is a charge thereafter. Again, the advanced discount deadlines, you want to familiarize yourself, as well as the targeted floor plan, because that will indicate when your move-in date is. Again, as I indicated, the deadline and checklist, take advantage of the highly discounted rates. Those are from our official contractors, such as Freeman, who provides carpeting, furnishings, material handling, Ventry lead retrieval, as well as Smart City for any IT or internet requirements, AV, Metro Multimedia, and Edlin Electric, along with catering, which is Center Plate. You also want to make sure you review the rules and regulations. There's 2 main types. We have inline booths. Again, the complimentary booth package, which is the drape table, 2 chairs, wastebasket, raw space, that would be islands, complex structure, etc. If you have any questions regarding the booth rules and regulations, you can reach out to Sam. Her email address is pretty much on every form in the kit. Sam, you want to talk a little bit about the complex structures?
Sure. Turn my volume up really quick. Hi everyone, it's good to see so many of you back for this year's event. We're really excited to see everyone soon. As most of you know, if you have a booth that's 400 square feet or larger, we do require a booth plan prior to arrival. If it's not approved prior to arrival, it could delay your move-in. So we really encourage that you send that ahead of time. I'll also request that you send any of your EAC forms and certificates of insurance ahead of arrival as well, so we can double check that all of your paperwork's in line for an efficient and easy move-in. In terms of complex structures, we do allow them, but we do need to see them ahead of time on paper so that we can have them approved by the fire marshal and also confirm that there's no issues with height regulations or issues with a second level being built out. There's extra steps involved with that. So if you do have a complex structure that requires a fire marshal approval or myself to take a look at it, we'll do that ahead of move-in. And then of course, if you have questions, email me.
Great, thanks, Sam. And also, again, if you're using an exhibitor appointed contractor, you're going to want to return the notice of intent forms to Joey Cruz. Joey will manage the exhibitors on site, or the exhibitor appointed contractors on site. It is very important that they also provide the proper proof of insurance and that they're registered as ESCA through ESCA, which is the Workers Identification System. And they'll be required to show their ESCA ID badge upon arrival at show site. Once again, we do have a targeted move-in, so it's important that you look at where your booth is located and what your targeted move-in date is. We do begin on Thursday with pavilions only, followed through by Friday and Saturday, and then general move-in begins on Sunday and Monday. We ask that all booths be show ready by 5 p.m. on Monday, September 27th. Shipping and handling, really important just to know and consider the cost of what it is to ship to show site versus to the advanced warehouse. In our efforts to stay within our sustainability initiatives, we do highly recommend that you send to the advanced warehouse. We do realize in some cases it's not always possible. So if you take a look at this document in the exhibitor service manual, it specifies rates. We have moved to a different model this year. It's a per pound move-in model, which in the past there was probably 5 different costs depending on when you moved it or shipped in. It's a more simplified model. I think you'll find it easier to estimate and budget your freight as well. So Freeman is there to support if you have any questions regarding your material handling, your rigging, any labor, booth design, furniture rental, and then transportation of your booth. Freeman is there to service. Again, take advantage of the discounted rates by ordering these services by August 26th. Again, important deadlines added to your calendar will help you stay on target. Freeman Online, Freeman Service Center, they do have a call center Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're there to answer any questions you might have pertaining to their services. So feel free to reach out to them either by email or by phone number, which is indicated on all of their Freeman order forms. The service center this year is located in the back of the 2800 aisle. From folks that were there in 2019, it was inside Hall A. This year, it would be inside the back of Hall D. So whether you enter through Hall A, which is on the left side entrance, or Hall C, just walks or come off of Washington Street from the back. It is in the back of Hall D this year, in the back of the 2800 aisle. Very important for move-in when you arrived. We do require closed-toe shoes for safety and comfort. You will be asked to leave the show floor if you do arrive in flip-flops or open-toed shoes. Freeman carpet should be laid prior to your arrival. We do require all booths to have some sort of floor covering. It's very important just to bring all your tracking numbers and order confirmations. It will help speed up us trying to search or trying to find where your freight might be and to reconfirm any orders that you placed. Upon arrival, just want to make sure that everything you've ordered is in your booth. Freeman concierge services will be on the show floor to help assist in making sure that everything that was ordered is in your booth. At the end of move-in, we do require that you obtain empty stickers for any empty boxes, crates, etc., that will be stored during the event, and those stickers can be found at the Freeman service desk. If you ordered labor, you're going to want to check in at the Freeman service desk upon arrival. Again, they do have a concierge service, which means they do have staff that will be walking throughout the show floor to help assist in that. So you just, we'll make sure that your orders are delivered on time. Furniture arrives per the delivery scheduled, again, at the Freeman service desk. Any questions can be answered by the Freeman concierge and or at the Freeman service desk. We also have floor managers that will be walking the floor as well to assist you. Know before you go communication. So we'll send out 2 weeks out a know before you go to be specific regarding the targeted move-in, the mobile app, badge requirements, reminding the exhibitor resources. Then 1 week out, a reminder regarding registration hours, parking, the mobile app, any FNQs, information regarding the welcome reception, as well as any show floor receptions. When in doubt, you could always contact us. Myself, Cindy Salgado, operations, along with Sam Shen, operations will be managing the show floor. Vanessa and Catherine, your customer success team. Vanessa, I'll throw this back to you.
Yeah, thanks. Awesome. So 25 minutes. I think we crammed a lot into 25 minutes. Again, if you have more questions, feel free to ask them on the side. We have one more poll just to see if there's any topics that we covered, if you would like us to do a brief overview. So we'll suggest some of the main topics that Cindy and I went through, and you can just vote on if you want to hear any additional details on that specific topic. So that will be launching in a moment. In the meantime, we have here the Expo hours and the registration hours. Please note the reg hours are now on Sunday versus Saturday if you were there last year. For the poll, our options are to go over the COVID-19 advisory, the portal, the ESM, shipping/move-in, or none. So if you're ready to submit your questions, please go ahead and do so. The team is standing by. Otherwise, it looks like there's two dominant topics, the COVID-19 advisory and the portal. So I'll just start to flip back. If there are a lot of questions, I can also begin to read those out loud. Otherwise, I believe the team is responding to all so that other people can view some of the popular questions. But again, we'll touch base right now on the COVID-19 advisory. I'll go through the portal overview one more time. And then if you do have questions, please do submit. The team is standing by. So for COVID-19, we break it down into two areas, right? One is travel. I know travel is huge. So we are suggesting that you check the CDC website. I can actually click on this now if I'm going to take a minute and pull this up, and then checking your local government website. So when I look at this, there is travel prohibited from certain countries. Absolutely. South Africa, I know we have the South Africa pavilion. We have a lot in Europe. So we, at this point, we'll just work closely with you. I think we have been flexible in the past. So when the time comes, if it's mid-August, right, if that's the cutoff for a lot of people, please reach out to us, whether it's customer success or, your sales manager, and we can see what we can do about whether it's, refunds or what the situation is. So with travel, it is like a nerve-wracking situation, right? It almost feels like we're gambling a little bit. A lot of us are, listening to the news every day. I think I saw yesterday that the US is now allowed to travel to Italy. So I feel like any day things can happen. And we are really just in uncharted territory, if you will. So following this website, I believe a lot of countries have something similar in their country, following that website, and then just keeping us up to date, and we will work with you and be understanding and try to see what the options are. So this was, right, that CDC for travel, checking your local government website. And then in terms of health advisory, I mean, the state of Florida is pretty open, right? If you read the news or look at some of the local regulations here in Miami. So again, just reiterating what's on the slide, there are no catering restrictions. Social distancing restrictions have been lifted, and masks are recommended but not required. I'm not sure if anyone else on the team has something to add here. I want to say I am not a public health official, right? We are just kind of looking at the news and trying to be transparent.
Yeah, no, that's correct, Vanessa. Currently following CDC guidelines.
Yeah, okay. And again, we're working with our partners, right, which would be FCCA and CLIA. I know management is in constant conversations with them. We care about the well-being of our customers. We care about attendance, right, from the attendee side, and the buyers and the decision makers and the suppliers. So we are trying to monitor that situation and, make sure that we are in line with the market, right, so we can have a successful show. But again, there's the business hat and a personal hat, and it is a little nerve-wracking. So if you do want to talk to somebody about it, sales rep, customer success team, and we can log some notes and just make sure that we are understanding your side, and monitoring the situation is really the best we can do at this time. All right, it is 9:30. I'll just take a couple minutes to look at the portal. So here it is. I think this is the best screenshot. I can actually take a look live if that's helpful. So I'll pull it up on my screen. Here it is. So you have some buttons here on the center part, and then you'll have additional buttons on the left. So this is a new registration system this year, in case you're used to something different. So you would go into either group reg or individual reg form. I think this is a lot of where the questions are. So I'll just do this. And so you can just begin by typing your information here, and there are some instructions at the top. If you have questions about rollover from last year, I have been receiving some of those. I think the booth staff passes, the complimentary ones, are not rolled over. If you purchased a pass and have questions, we do have a list of those, and you can reach out to me and I can follow up with you. For a visa letter, you have to register first, and then you go into the registrant search and you would select your name. I'll do that right now. And then edit details and upgrade pass, purchase add-ons, Visa letter. So this is where your toolbar is. So please register first and then go into registration summary. And that's where you can order a pass for Wista, the breakfast on Thursday, or a request a Visa letter. And hopefully people are submitting questions as well so that we can be more targeted in our responses. Going back, if you have questions about payment, the registration team is available. They have an email number and phone number. So if I click here on Expo Hours and Help, I know it's a little hidden, but it's right here at the top. So if you click on that, this is where you'll see the Expo Hours. And if you scroll down, you'll have some more contact information. So this is a good spot. And then deadline, so similar to what I was saying, just start clicking around, really take 10 minutes, set your timer, and just check out. This is where you can download these forms. So if you don't have the link, I think that's the most important part, just email us. We're gonna try to include the link on our future communications so that you have it every time. And thanks for bearing with us because this is a new system this year. So I'll give it a minute for some more questions, and then I think we're ready to wrap. So let me just see how the questions are going. There's one question about Access Cruise. So Access Cruise, they're the consultant. They can talk about how to connect with attendees for effective networking. They can talk to you how to best network virtually, right? Because that's been really part of our business now. And practical tips, attire, business cards, things like that. So that's Access Cruise. Those good questions. Just taking a look at some of the questions. So, okay, I think the team is answering them. That's great. Yeah, so I think we can wrap. Again, let me just, my last slide that I'll put up is the contact slide because I think a lot of the questions result in us reaching out to you. So customer success, Cindy or Sam, we appreciate this is a challenging time. It has been for 2 years now, but for different reasons. We're all in this together. We're looking forward to a successful event. So please just, stay in communication with us, and we are here to help you and really have a safe and comfortable and successful show. So I appreciate your time. Let's keep working together. It's been a pleasure. We're gonna wrap up the webinar now. If there's one-offs, we'll get to those questions. And thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you soon.